Well, also a quick update on the car projects. So first one, Marui Ninja, 4-wheel drive, 1987 I think it was. Love that. So what I've done is, if you remember, the shell was like really bad, so it had missing most of the paint. It was sort of red at the back, black at the front, but missing most of the paint. And the whole car was disgusting. You did all greasy and dirty, all that sort of stuff. Had no driver. And so I've just done the best I can, sort of thing, without spending lots of money on it, sort of thing. So what I was able to do is I was able to get all the paint off, which took absolutely ages and ages, like hours and hours of work. I should have probably just gone out and brought some Tamiya paint stripper, to be honest with you. But I thought, you know what, it's about 2/3, sorry, it's about 1/3 off already, and I'm sure I can get it off. But to take ages. But yeah, it looks good. Obviously the shell was already scratched anyway, but it looks pretty decent. So I'm quite pleased with that, and see the original stickers and all that. So that's now in Tamiya gloss black, which looks cool. So just removed the body clips to shell off. So yeah, it's all pretty decent in there. Masked off. I made my first ever sort of window masks as well to mask those off. So I think I've done quite a good job on that. It's the first time I've ever done that. Here's the driver. So this driver here was out of an old Tamiya Thundershot, and it's like really battered, looked disgusting, it's pink, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I just resprayed the whole thing black. I wanted sort of black visor here rather than a sort of pink face, you know what I mean. So I just sprayed the whole thing black, and then I went over and I bought some nail varnish, and nail varnished it, because nail varnish is like dirt cheap. It's like £3 a pot. Just went out actually and got some more Rimmel here in black, so that's good. So that's something else I want to detail. But yeah, obviously silver, sort of the red over the black as well, to sort of give it a sort of dark look, you know. And I think it looks pretty decent. Obviously it's got a hole in it, but remember, this is 1989 knackered old driver that I've managed to sort of use up, and he fits perfectly in there. And I've just put 2 sticky pads underneath there. But yeah, he fits really nicely in there, just the right size for the driver, so I'm really pleased with that. I've resoldered the electronics here. I've cleaned up the wheels. I've taken the whole thing apart, it had plastic bearings, bushings in there, so I ordered from RC Bearings. I measured them and ordered my own individual bearings and replaced the whole lot. So now RC Bearings now sell the kit based on this car here, and the feedback I've given to them. I'm running it in 2-wheel drive, so there's no shaft going along the middle, because this differential cup here has been broken, since I've had it, and I've looked online, can't find it anywhere. It uses the same cup on 2 other models, but there's no spare parts for anything, basically. So I've had to take the drive shafts out and leave it 2-wheel drive. But I've taken apart all the gearboxes. Everything is absolutely mint, and re-greased everything, totally mint. So it's all really nice. Motor wise, I kind of didn't want to be let down by having the performance of the original motor. And obviously I like originality, but I didn't want to drive it and feel, my god, this is pretty bad. So I've upgraded to a brand new Tamiya sports tuned motor, and that sounds really good. So that was about £17. It's absolutely bargain, absolutely brand new, jkrc.co.uk, really good. I've then temporarily made these covers here to connect up, because of course I didn't have any connections for this, but I've now ordered bullet connectors for these, so I know about, and with also the plastic covers, so I have to do it nice and neat, and obviously I'll put this over here, cable tie, and make it all look nice. But yeah, those will arrive in a few weeks time. They come from China, box of like 50 of each type for like £5 basically, so they'll arrive at some point in the next week or so. So yeah, that's all looking good. But otherwise everything's here sounds really nice. So you can see here that this item here, I forget if it's a resistor or not, I can't actually remember. I know it gets hot, ceramic coated. Apologies, I've forgotten the name for it, but you also have them on all manual speed controllers. As you can see here, one of them's knackered. So yep, I've got another few of those coming as well. The sort of modern versions of these, but same spec. So when they arrive, I can solder those in, and then they mount under a little metal cover, which I forget exactly where it goes, but I'm kind of thinking it bolts on here somewhere. And obviously I've got pictures of it. So that's cool. Original 27 megahertz. receiver with the most old school, these are made in Korea, connectors on there, so I'm leaving it as it is. I could have put an electronic speed controller in it and change over this to 2.4 gig, which I might do in the future, but I kind of wanted to leave it mostly original as I could, I should say, with the exception of changing over the motor for a little bit more power. I'm driving it, and obviously it's 2-wheel drive, but that's not out of choice. So yeah, that's looking good. Cool. Next one is the Avante, original 1988. Move that out of the way. And so for this one, oops, there. This one here, I've just had its first test run using the new motor. So the old technical motors are here, and basically it lasted about 5 minutes, and then it just it seized because of a bearing, I believe, and ultimately put new bearings in it, and it just doesn't work. So something's potentially wrong with the rotor, because when you put a normal rotor in it, it works fine. So I think the rotor's probably shorted out. So yeah, I've gone for my first ever, what I would classify as a modern motor. So I've gone for the Tamiya GT tuned. So as per the instructions, I bedded that in on a slow speed, literally on this box here for like 5 minutes, just running on a slow speed. Just adjusted the throttle trim to on and let it run in for 5 minutes. So that's cool. Just been out for the first run, yep, and I'm quite impressed with it. I'd say it's basically the same speed as the Technigold. This Technigold and this one just happens to just runs absolutely epic. It's so fast. It's just like unique. I just don't know if it's just, I know it's cranked up to highest power, but I think it's just an epic motor in this particular car. And this one as well, sort of thing. It's very nice. So obviously I'm running 2.4 gig. I'm running the modern TBL02 electronic speed controller, which I'm running in most of my cars now because they're say £16 each from JKRC. Absolute bargain. Fly Sky 2.4, again 8.50 each. They are. Transmitter was 35 quid, and that came with a receiver as well, so I love that. I've detailed the man, put the stickers on finally, which I've had in box for 20 odd years, and that is nice. So speed wise, it's not blisteringly quick, but you know what, down the local churchyard with cones and and I can imagine if this is on a track, on a small track, this would be beautiful. It handles so well, steers so well, power's good, acceleration's good. I know I can change the pinion gear to crank up top speed, which I'm going to look into a little bit, sort of thing. But I'm running 2000 milliamp nickel metal hydrides, old school batteries, really. So you know what, it performs well. So really smooth. Battery lasted a decent amount of time, I guess, because it's a modern motor, more modern technology. So it was good. So I'm very pleased with that one. Let's put that down in it. There's that. Final one. This one here. So this one here is a Schumacher Pro Cat. So I spent a lot of time on this one here. So I've taken it all apart, cleaned it all up. I haven't had a 4-wheel drive Schumacher before. I've only ever had 2-wheel drive Cougars. So I had a bit of a learning experience on this one. I had to get a new spur gear and new pinion as well, because the pinion I had on there, this pinion here, which I brought first of all, this was too small basically. So both of them wouldn't line up, and you couldn't file anything to move the motor closer. So I had to go for 118 teeth on that, 25 teeth on that, and it's spot on. I've also got underneath here somewhere a 30-tooth pinion that arrived today as well, which I can try out for different gear ratios as well, so that's fine. Got an issue with this. So the first time I've ever used it was obviously today, and it slips. So there's no slipper clutch on there as such. There's not a traditional one there. So yep, I'm looking into that and find out why. So I don't know if it's because the belts are too loose. There's three belts: a drive shaft, the central belt, and a belt each. I did adjust it as per the manual on the back here to a 2mm drop on each one. When I got the car, the diff was literally rock solid. So when you turned it this way, this wheel here went the same direction, same as these. So it didn't go in opposite directions because both diffs had been tightened up. Well, maybe that was because of the guy who used to race it, just cranked up both diffs, or maybe because he had a problem with the slipper, it's slipping or something, he cranked it up. I'm not sure. But either way, there should be some. I believe that is correct there. This car here has a one-way front end on it, so an upgrade. Different shock towers, adjustable arms, which are all upgraded, and some sort of adjustable something else is upgraded here on it. And I say I fitted a steering system on it, so I've cleaned it all up. I fitted this random motor I had lying around, no idea what it is, but seems good. But ultimately, yeah, I went to run it, and you put it on the ground, and it runs, but basically it just slips on here. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at next, finding out why that's slipping, and is this right. You know, bear in mind the belts and stuff on there, you know, are from late 90s and stuff on it, so, you know, but otherwise it went well, it handled well, steered well, just didn't have any sort of top speed on it, that's all. Cool, and there we go. And I guess the final one, we're not really going to look at this one particularly, but this is, yeah, my classic ThunderDragon, and as I mentioned, it's running the Technigold, which has been adjusted to the full capacity, and to be honest with you, this Technigold, this particular car, particular motor, runs way better than any other Technigold I've ever seen or ever owned. I've got a lot of Technigold cars, and this one here it's just fast. It just sounds fast, and it is fast. It's this kind of thing that you want. You know, I want my Avante to be that fast. You know, but maybe it's just a lucky motor. You know, or not a knackered motor. Who knows? But yeah, beautiful car. Absolutely love those cars. Just a lot of fun. There we go. Excellent. Cheers.